Diane Kazer here, founder of DianeKazer.com and former pro soccer player turned functional nutrition coach. Today we're here to talk about disease, inflammation, and pain, and how to reduce them through food, which you probably have heard of Hippocrates. He said, "Let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food." At the root of every disease is inflammation. Virtually every disease is caused by inflammation in the body. In fact, words that end in itis are nothing but a fancy way of saying you have inflammation of the insert body part. So today, let's talk about food and how we can reduce inflammation with food and food-based supplements to fight your flames of pain, which is inflammation. So there are two things. There are things that inflame us and things that deflame us. The 5 that we're going to talk about today are all F's, so it should be relatively easy to follow along with. Are you ready? Cool. So the first one is fish and fish oil. Now, fish oil is very high in omega-3s. You've probably heard of omega-3s. Omega-6s tend to be the things that are more like rancid oils that cause more inflammation in the body in relationship to omega-3s. The average American today, in fact, consumes a diet that is very rich in omega-6s to 3s in a ratio of 25:1 and above. We'd like to see that more like the Mediterranean diet, which is typically like a 2:5:1 ratio. Reduce omega-6s and increase omega-3s. Now, omega-6s are things like the safflower and sunflower oil, wheat, soy oil, vegetable oil of any kind. If you ever hear when you go to a restaurant and they say we cook this in vegetable oil, which I highly recommend everywhere you go, you ask what they cook this in, and whenever you go to the grocery store, you check your labels. If it says vegetable oil or any of those oils, then you want to make sure that you abolish them. Cut them out of your diet for a long time, if not ever. I know you're going to want to continue to eat these junk foods, but believe me, your joints are going to be a lot happier, as well as your waistline and the rest of your body and your brain, because if your brain inflames, this is what they're saying now is causing Alzheimer's. So you want to consume about 4 grams of omega-3 a day, and you can get that in supplement form. 1 gram of EPA and DHA is what I recommend in your healthy fish oil supplements. I recommend cod liver oil. So the things that are high in omega-3s would be like salmon and mackerel and avocado oil, all different kinds of examples that you can start incorporating today. And I included a list of an example of what your day-to-day life might look like with more omega-3s. Chia seeds are also very high, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Number 2 is flavonoids. I call it flavonoids because they have a lot of flavor in them. They're foods that are very colorful and rich in enzymes like blueberry and turmeric and pineapple and cocoa and tea and organic healthy red wine in moderation, as well as garlic. And ginger is another good one too for anti-inflammatory. So turmeric is one of the most old known anti-inflammatory herbs in the world, and I'm going to include a recipe for you guys below that I love to put on my eggs. Number 3 is fitness recovery drinks. I see a lot of people consuming a lot of really unhealthy, all colors of the rainbow drinks that are causing insult to injury. Now, bad sugar is like GMO sugar, which is 90% plus of sugars. That is going to increase inflammation in the body. We want to drink healthy sugars that are doing something for us, that actually have enzymes in them and are not just white sugar, as in the most popular recovery drinks today. So I'm going to include a recipe for you guys to try, which has omega-3s in them because we have got chia seeds in them. If you want to add some lemon to it, add some BCAAs and glutamine, even better. Number 4 is fiber. So it's not enough for me to say today, guys, stop eating so much sugar, because you're probably not. We've got to abolish the food cravings because your brain is addicted to sugar. And by the way of these gut bacteria that a lot of us are that are inhabiting our gut that are causing the inflammation. When they eat the carbohydrates like sugar, they're off-gassing, and that's causing a lot of inflammation. So that's why I also love probiotics. Side note, but back to fiber. I recommend about 25 grams of fiber a day, which you can easily get with 7 cups of leafy greens. That also gives you 5,000 milligrams of potassium, which is really good for muscle cramps. So maybe take a potassium supplement before bed if you have a lot of cramps going to sleep and have a problem with that. There's also, you can get that much potassium in with 12 bananas, but that's a lot of sugar. So this is just about two salads a day. That's all you need. It's 25 grams of fiber to abolish the food cravings. And that will hugely reduce your inflammation because you're not consuming as much sugar. The 5th one is fats. We need fats to make hormones, and hormones are things like cortisol, which put the fire out when we're inflamed. So Changing up the vegetable oil, replacing it with avocado and olive oil. Those are healthy alternatives. Make sure when you're eating out, you're asking for maybe using olive oil instead of if they're using it in vegetable oil. Ask for that with a smile. And then coffee. A lot of us are starting our morning with coffee, which is very acidic. And if our body becomes acidic like that, it needs to rob minerals from the body, like our joints and our connective tissues and our hair and our skin and our muscles, in order to bring our body back to a higher alkaline state. So instead of coffee, I know it's tough, I know. I recommend bone broth. Bone broth is hugely rich in collagen and a ton of amino acids that we need for tissue repair, recovery, replenishment. That includes your hair, skin, and nails, ladies. And also for guys, it's going to help you with your muscle tissue turnover, so you're going to have more muscle. And the more muscle you have, the more fat that you're going to burn throughout the day and the more energy you're going to have. So, you guys going to try it? Maybe incorporate one new thing a week and let me know how it's going. If you guys have any questions, DianeKazer.com. I'm happy you've been here with me today. Remember, this stuff will only work if you work for it. But trust me, I've worked with thousands of patients around the world in the last 7 years, and they work. Work for it. All right, I'm off to yoga. Diane Kazer here. Have a beautiful day.